Most people think building an app starts with writing code, and that's exactly why they fail. They open Claude Code on day one and they start prompting immediately, and then they generating something that looks great, but then it falls apart because they skip the one step that actually matters here. 48 hours ago, I had nothing, just a problem I wanted to solve with an iOS application, and right now I've got the full app designed, every screen mapped out, a complete product specification, the branding is done, and the development environment is configured. 5 years ago, getting to this exact point would have taken a team of designers and developers months and tens of thousands of dollars. And the fact that I did it alone in 48 hours with a few AI tools and zero coding skills, that still messes with my head. But here's the part nobody in the vibe coding space talks about, is that the thing that none of this works yet. No code exists, this is just the foundation. The design, the specifications, the system. Most people skip straight past this and wonder why their app breaks immediately. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact setup I'm using, the app screens, the branding that ChatGPT generated, and the first conversations with Claude Code in plan mode, which wrote my entire plan markdown file, and the export framework setup, and the sub-agent system that I'm going to use and handle the actual build. And all of it, the actual prompts, the real files, and the one tool that completely caught me off guard. And tomorrow I will start coding with Claude Code, and we find out if someone who can't code can actually build a real app. If you want to find out whether I fail or actually build a profitable app, make sure to stick with me, because this is where it gets interesting or very messy. So here we are in our Figma file where I prepared everything that we have in terms of UI design branding elements. So first of all, I would like to show you the screens of the app and the UI design that ChatGPT generated, and I'm still mind blown by it because it's so good. So this is our application and how our application will look like. We have a lot of screens here. I will just run through them quickly just to make you understand the whole project. So basically the first line of screens are the onboarding screens. This is a loading screen. When someone will open the application, it's going to be animated. When you don't have an account, this will be the welcome page where you can create your account and you can log in with your email address, Google, Apple ID, and so forth, so on. Then there will be like a conversational onboarding flow to ask your name. Then you have to talk, tell a few details about your morning routine, what they usually use in the morning. This is a crucial thing for people with ADHD. That's why it has a different section here during the onboarding. The second onboarding step is about the medication for ADHD people, if they want to be reminded every morning or not. And then the morning and the evening check-in setup about the daily progress. And then there will be a very cute onboarding complete page. And then finally you will be able to open Fino and you can get to your dashboard. And this is our dashboard where basically you will have an overview about your biggest goals and biggest tasks for the day and for your future. Here in the top box, in this white box, I'm not sure if there will be just this text, or I'm not even sure that we will have this in the app. I will figure it out during the development phase when I will see how much space we have. Below this box, we have the today's focus, where people can add their biggest priorities for each day. And then we will have a goal overview where we have our big goals and our subtask. I will talk about it in a second. And we can see our progress towards our goal. And then just below it will be our morning routine. And we can answer if we completed our morning routine steps or not. And we have a navigation bar in the bottom. On the next screens, you can see the goal setup page, like the overview about our big goals. Then here you can see how one goal looks like. And the whole thing about the app and the main purpose is this scoring system or point system, the gamification, because I want to give dopamine for the users to complete their tasks and make sure they won't leave their goals behind. And for this purpose, I came up with the idea of having this scoring system, which basically gives them points, and the more points you will collect in the app, you can unlock these B characters and you can build your hive. And there will be a leaderboard in the app, and you can basically compete with others who can collect more bees in your own hive, and you can collect these cuties here. There is a scoring system behind the application, and you can unlock these bees after reaching a certain amount of points, and then you will see how many bees you have in your hive. And later on, after obviously the MVP phase, I would like to have some kind of prizes or rewards if people can unlock these bees in the hive. But let's get back to the application. We will have obviously a settings page where you can see like quickly your progress. And my favorite part is this quick capture part of the app. When you click on this big plus button here in the middle, and you can add a new task, a reminder, a note, or an idea or a goal, because my biggest issue with my ADHD is that I have to have something to capture my thoughts quickly in a second, otherwise I will forget and I will never get back to it. When you set up a goal or a morning check-in, I will implement this conversational chat basically, or flow for my users, because I would like to avoid using this software as like a ClickUp or a task management software. And this makes the app more friendly and gives a feeling like talking to a friend about our goals and morning plans and evening check-ins. And the last part is this nervous system regulation tool. It's basically a breathwork practice. I have a few other ideas of implementing different nervous system regulation tools, but for the beginning, for the MVP, the breathwork will be perfectly enough with box breathing. This is a 4-cycle breathing technique, but it's very effective for people with ADHD and people with very overwhelmed nervous system. Okay, so this is the app. These are our screens that we will build from tomorrow in Claude Code. But this is basically the icon of the app that we're going to publish in the App Store. It's very cute, colorful, and I think it gives a really good warm and calm and safety feeling when I just look on this bee. And here I created a few characters or mascots for this hive feature. I generated a few bees with different activities and vibes with different names, and you can collect them in the application basically. I have mentioned that I stopped using ChatGPT 6 or 7 months ago because Claude was 100 times better in ChatGPT, and I canceled my subscription here and I switched completely to Claude. But yesterday I felt like I might give it a new chance for ChatGPT because I heard from friends that the image generation model is very strong now. I will paste this ChatGPT conversation, by the way, below this video, so you can check the whole conversation with ChatGPT. It's quite long. I won't go through the whole conversation one by one. The main thing is that after this prompt, I pasted our app branding guideline basically, and the feature list. It's a very, very long prompt, and I included these screenshots you might have seen in the first video when I was looking for inspiration. And from here, basically, it was a very long conversation with GPT, and for the first attempt, it generated the perfect UI design for our dashboard, and that was the point where I felt like, what the fuck, it's amazing. And after that, I asked GPT to generate all the screens we are going to use in Figma on a grid, and that's how basically I generated the complete UI of our application in like 3 minutes, and it was done. And from here, I basically just asked GPT to upscale every single screen one by one. And here we have a really long conversation, upscale the new goal setup screen. We will move to Claude Code and Claude because I want to show you plan this project and what we have done currently. So we have this very long conversation again in Claude, which I might link here in the description as well, so you can read through my whole conversation from the very first idea until the product specification. And then based on the whole chat, I asked Claude to generate the complete document of our plan, not just the design plan, but the major plan about the app, to generate the document that I can paste into Claude Code plan mode to actually plan the development phases and the coding side of the application. This is basically the whole explanation of our project and our application. I just simply opened VS Code. I'm using VS Code nowadays with Claude Code. I created a folder on my MacBook And then I installed Expo, which is our framework of building an iOS and an Android app at the same time with one code base. And the reason why I have installed Expo first and then built and planned the whole project afterwards, because it's easier if we have the framework, the template files installed in our folder, so the plan mode can check the files, what we have, what we are missing, and what we are going to use, and it's easier to implement the plan or just write the plan on top of this programming framework. So it's a 30 seconds long terminal chat, which you can find on Expo's website. How to install Homebrew, which is basically a helpful tool to install programming languages on your computer. Then I installed Node.js, and then basically just downloaded these basic files in this folder. And then I opened Claude Code and switched to plan mode here in the corner and left the effort on high. And then I just simply pasted the whole file that I just showed you in Claude a few minutes ago. Paste it here, and I asked Claude Code to plan out the whole development and the application development process. Claude Code basically checked the files in our folder, the plugins I currently have with Claude Code. The point is here, we had a back and forth conversation about the phases, if I wanna plan out the full project now or just the first phase, and then the styling approach, which styling framework I want to use here. And at the end, I asked to change something with the database and the authentication, because earlier I planned using Supabase as my database and authentication as well, but now I changed my mind after I had a chat with my friend to Convex for database and Clerk for authentication, and it was just a chat between me and Claude Code to change this in the tech stack and the documentation. Here we go. We have our section 1 project structure, where we have all the files and the file structure that Claude Code will build for us, convex data model, how the database will look like in the backend, the phase sequences, what each phases will deliver for us, and what tools or dependencies we are going to use and implement. We moved on and made a decision of using sub-agent system. So every time I will launch a feature development phase, Claude Code will set up multiple agents that will build the feature or the smaller feature simultaneously, and when they are finished, there will be a security and the quality assurance agent that will check the code base, and before it returns me the result and tells me like, hey, it's done, they will check the vulnerabilities and the security adjustments and the quality of the code, if the code is actually good or it needs to be refined. And we have our first phase implementation plan ready. So the last thing, or the only thing I have to do now, is basically pull the trigger tomorrow, and Claude Code will start building our iOS application. Everything is ready and set up. In 48 hours, basically, we went from a real problem in my head to a fully built product specification, an implementation plan, a UI design, and I think this is simply crazy. But as I have mentioned in the first part of this video, this is nothing basically. This is not a software, this is not an application, this is just purely text documents. So the funny part begins tomorrow when I will start writing code. Claude Code will start writing code, and is it going to be an actual application, and we will see if I can build a real application just purely with AI without knowing how to code, or I will fail somewhere along the line. Check back tomorrow, and if you found anything helpful in this video, then I would be really grateful if you subscribe to my channel and send it to your friend. And I'm really hyped to see the end results, and I'm so excited to see this application in the App Store and the #1 or the top 1 on the leaderboard. But jokes aside, thank you for being here, and see you in the next one.